4 hours of programming. Here's some bull that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bull which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon when residents in this neighborhood were shocked to see this fairly common thing happening. An attractive witness described the event in breathless terms.
I went to my window and I was like, whoa, there's some happening.
That happened right over there. I'm an older man, so you can trust what I say.
Authorities in special uniforms rushed to the scene to stand around while our cameras filmed them. Our reporter Keith Collins joins us now live from the scene of the bullshit through the use of expensive technology. Good to be with you again, Keith. We have a colorful graphic here that shows instances of bullshit like this are on the rise. Is that right?
Yes, although why is unclear. Some say it's because of one fucking reason. Others say it's because of some other fucking reason. I talked to this random expert on the subject who told me this thing you're about to hear him say right after he points at a piece of paper.
So in 2013, it was legalized in the United States to propagandize its citizens. What? Like, that's some scary third world stuff going on. That's the kind of stuff that people use to topple governments, to take away freedoms.
Yes, you heard that right. Almost a decade ago, propaganda was legalized in the United States with the passage of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, which you've probably never heard of. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was buried in the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act for a good reason, because it repealed the 1948 Smith-Mundt Act, which authorized the State Department and the mainstream media to engage in propagandizing foreign countries, but it prohibited releasing that same propaganda in America for public consumption. This prohibition was lifted when the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act was signed into law by Obama.
Very simply, Obama gave it a reboot in 2012. So, no matter how outrageous the propaganda may be, it's completely legal.
Propaganda, in other words, a false narrative for whatever specific purpose, is now much, much easier to perpetrate on the people.
Generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
You want to talk politics? Call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and if they see it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
People often ask me the same question, which is, what's it like in space?
Fantasyland, the happiest kingdom of them all.
I'd like to help you understand why it's a place that is
magic. Realization that humanity is able to send things to that dot there in the sky, it's
I don't know, it's a magical feeling.
It really was a magical
day.
And the mission and the magic begin.
Welcome to Storytime from Space.
My favorite part about living up there was the flying. I loved it. It was like being Peter Pan.
Everybody's a superhero. You're not floating, you're flying.
So the space station is the place where mission and magic come together.
Here's the world of imagination, hopes, and dreams. Magic and make-believe are reborn, and fairy tales come true. Dedicated to the young and the young in heart. To those who believe that when you wish upon a star, your dreams do come true.
Some quick programming.
The views of our blue marble in the blackness of space, now capturing the imagination, now capturing the imagination of a new generation.
Fantasyland.
Just capture my imagination every time.
I mean, again, this is why we're doing this. All these people who feel captivated.
Inspires and excites people to dream and wonder.
Have big dreams.
Still having a hard time believing this is real.
When the sim begins, the mission is played out as if for real, following a script created by the simulation team.
The simulations were so real that no controller
could discern the difference between the training and the real mission.
almost, trick us and say that we were in the simulator and it wasn't real.
We feel like they're real, and that becomes the only reality.
You guys are dummies. It's not even hard.
Here's main engine cutoff. You can see a stopwatch floating by, and flashes out the window are the 800-pound reaction control jets.
The flashing that you see is from the energized plasma in the overhead windows, the light reflecting off our suits and helmets. And Rick's got the camera, and that's what it looked like out the overhead window. It's just awesome. That's not the tail of the orbiter.
And you see the pink glow outside the windows. The flash is caused by the attitude-controlled jets firing. You'll see a scene looking back aft on this 25-mile trailing plume of fire as we come flying into the atmosphere.
Maneuvered the orbiter to several different attitudes.
We reconverted the laboratory back to a spaceship, and here we are on entry day, Mach 17, 200,000 feet. You can see the flames out the front window. We're in the middle of a fireball during re-entry.
I wish I could describe to you what I'm seeing out my window here, but you can see that burnt orange down filling up the window, and then you see a very bright white light there just to the right. That's actually a blue, thin blue band caused by sunrise.
Looking out the pilot's window here, we had a camcorder. This is as we're going into our thermal phase, which is our glow phase, or the area that we go through our thermal heating. The reflections you see off our backs, that's a picture of John there, and I'm on his right side. That's what we call, sometimes incorrectly, the plasma or the fire spikes that you see coming over top of through the payload bay windows, or through the overhead windows. The glow is some beautiful colors, and you can see we're just about through it.
This is what I saw from my seat with camcorder recording, both over my head up at the upper window, and what you see there is the plasma ionization on entry. And you can also tell by looking at the windows around John and Don, around the front there, the plasma glow.
And you can see the plasma behind us as we stream through the atmosphere, converting that energy back into heat.
The view out the overhead window as we were re-entering the atmosphere, and you can see the red light, the plasma is coming off the tail of the orbiter as we recontact the atmosphere. The entry in many ways is even more dramatic.
Up in Mach 24 range, and here you see the plasma.
Mama would love to be an astronaut one day. Hooray!
A telescope is a time machine. And JWST can see deeper into the past than any telescope in history. To not long after the Big Bang. The telescope has shown us how stars are born, and it also shows us how they die. This telescope has transformed the night. The images emerging from the darkness reveal a whole new universe, invisible to the human eye. Where did we come from? How did the universe begin? Are we alone? We've always wondered these things. Now, at last, we're getting answers.
My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my revenue than choice silver. I lead in the way of righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill their treasures. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth, when there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth, while as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest part of the dust of the world. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment, when he appointed the foundations of the earth, then I was by him, as one brought up with him, and I was daily his delight, rejoicing always before him, rejoicing in the habitable part of his earth, and my delights were with the sons of men. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. For whoso findeth me, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death.